everybody. Welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous. This is episode 2 for April 1st, 2015. My name is Rico, and I'm here with my co-host,
Dan Cody.
And we're here to talk about games, movies, toys, whatever comes to our mind generally. This is a video game podcast, but, you know, we're not afraid to stray off topic.
Pretty much.
So usually we start with our what you've been playing section. So I'm going to let Dane start off like usual.
No? You're playing Bloodborne. Is that what you're playing?
Yeah, I pretty much have played... well, actually, I played some Heroes of Storm too, but primarily I've been playing Bloodborne like nonstop.
Yeah, I figured that was the case. You were sounding pretty into it last week.
I'm near the end.
Really? Already?
I think my game clock is almost 40 hours. That's pretty big for a third-person action game.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That is getting up there. 40 hours. That's a lot of time.
I don't think it's easier than any of the other Souls games. I must just be better at it because I've been actually doing pretty good against a lot of the bosses, and I think the last boss is the one that took the most amount of tries. I think it took me like 5 tries, but I finally got him.
Well, fair enough. You have been at this a little while, right? So, I mean, you got into it. What did you say you played all of them?
I played all of them. I've only beat Dark Souls 2 though.
Oh, okay. So you played them all, but you beat Dark Souls 2.
Yeah, and I got to the end of Dark Souls, the first one, but I forgot where I was. I can't remember the section of the game, but it's a area where it's complete darkness, and yeah, it's pretty difficult.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, that is sort of what those games got infamous for, was the difficulty, right?
But yeah, it's I don't know. I think it's an awesome game if you're a glutton for punishment.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think a little bit last week and stuff, but the more people talk about these games, the more I kind of want to buy it and play it, but I'm a little bit scared because it's like, what happens if I spend, the $70 on this game and then I get 10 hours in and I want to shoot myself and I hate it? I mean, I guess I could always like give it to somebody else or gift it or try and sell it to a friend or something like that, but but I'm so torn because I totally kind of want to play it.
Yeah, it's kind of rough because everyone's talking about it, right? So...
Oh, it's everywhere. Everybody's talking about it. It's like that's all like anybody's talking about.
You feel like you're missing out.
I do. I totally do. I'm almost thinking about picking up something like Lords of the Fallen or something that's maybe a little bit cheaper these days, just to sort of see if I would kind of appreciate that style of game.
Yeah, that game looks really cool. I didn't hear much about it. I actually missed it, but it looked awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed to get fairly decent reviews. I mean, I'm not sure if it was a smaller publisher and stuff when it came out. I kind of messed around with it a little bit at PAX, but unfortunately one of their remotes, or not one of the remotes.
Oh yeah,
one of the
I remember
controllers had like a broken like joystick or whatever, so it was not a great showing for that.
I remember you were trying to fight the guy and you're like, I can't move left or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. It was like I could go right, so every time you went, you had to go in a circle. It was stupid.
Yeah, that's not a good demo.
Yeah, it was unfortunate.
So, I don't think they've really done... I guess they've done a few things to make it more accessible. I don't know. Not really. You really had... Like, it doesn't even explain how to level up. Like, I was hearing some other people complain how they had gotten 10 hours in and they still didn't know how to level up. Like, it doesn't explain it at all.
Yeah, that I think we must listen to the same podcast, but yeah, I heard about that where the guy blew, I think he said around 7 or so hours, and then he died and realized that all of that was gone because nobody told him that he had to like bank his blood shards and use them to level up down the road.
Well, you can't bank them and you can't level up until you get another item, but it doesn't explain that to you. It figures, I guess they want you to get good at I kind of see what they did with the first level. Now I'm thinking about this. Basically, you can't level up until you get an item called Insight. And when you return, there's like a hub world in Bloodborne. And when you return back to it, there's this doll that's the first few times you die and go there, she's dead. Like, she's not alive. So it's like you can interact with her, but nothing happens. But insight apparently allows you to perceive things in the world. I don't think all the secrets to do with insight have been discovered, like what type of level insight will uncover what secrets in the game. But when you have one insight, she comes to life. You usually don't get your first insight until you attempt the boss. I think you get one when you first attempt him, the first boss.
Oh, okay.
But I can't remember exactly because I had insight. There is items that give you insight that you find around the first area, but they're in areas that you may not necessarily even go in. And then you just happen to use it and it's like, oh, I got one insight. What's that do? Oh, you go back and this doll's alive. Oh, okay, now I can level up. Because essentially you start at level 10 when you start the game.
Oh, okay, interesting.
But at level 10, that boss is pretty difficult. He does a crap ton of damage and you don't necessarily do that much. So like when I fought him, I was at level 20. So if you didn't know that, you're at a pretty big disadvantage and the game is like harder than it would, seem.
Right.
So
that I mean, see, and this is this type of stuff that on one hand I think it would I would hate that, but on the other hand it's so intriguing and it kind of makes me want to play it.
Yeah, like there was this one guy, I accidentally figured this out. There's a guy, an NPC in the game who tries to kill you every time he sees you. So I would just run away because he was super tough and I couldn't kill him. You could kill him, you get his gear, you get his weapons and stuff, right? But he was tough. I could not kill him, so I just ignored him. Cutting through that area later in the game, wearing different gear, he talked to me instead of trying to kill me because he thought I was something different, which was kind of neat.
Really?
Yeah. So there's all kinds of little cool things like that are going to come out in time. And then he gave me a badge which let me buy his gear in the store. Otherwise, obviously, I could have killed him and got it, but he also gave you a gesture. Like, gestures are kind of like hidden little things in the game.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I'm almost done. And then maybe when I'm done, I'll play something else.
Maybe The Order, which you were totally going to play, but then totally didn't?
Well, I started it.
Oh, okay.
I played for maybe about 20 minutes.
Okay, fair enough.
And
so
I'm like,
wow. Got into the beginning.
I was like, wow, this game looks amazing. But I had no desire to go back to it.
No, that's fair. I mean, it is arguably one of the most beautiful games I have ever seen or played. It is gorgeous.
And I think that's a bigger issue than just than what The Order had besides being a short game. It's amazing and it's just this graphic powerhouse, but it's they forget to do everything else, Yeah,
I mean, I kind of said a little bit last week, but I really enjoyed The Order. I got really kind of intrigued by the universe. The story really hooked me. I really, really thought it was cool. A lot of people hated on it. It was short. I mean, it took me, I spent, I looked at everything and I kind of wandered around quite a bit. I tried to do a good job of sort of, really taking in the universe, if you will. And I think I beat it in about 8 hours. That was on normal. But I don't know. For me, what I really enjoyed about The Order was, one, I really liked the story. It really intrigued me and it was kind of right up my alley. That sort of, turn of the century London, all that, plus, the interesting sort of steampunk world and things like that they got going on. It was, I don't know, it was right up my alley. I really liked it. And I kind of liked how once you get it kind of into it, it's a no fluff kind of game. It didn't feel like they added a bunch of levels to just, they're like, oh crap, our game's short. We got to add a bunch of levels to lengthen this game.
Yeah.
To me, it really felt like, every level that was there had a purpose. There wasn't really any fluff. And I'm at this point in my life now where I don't have a ton of time to spend on fluff levels anymore.
There's a lot to be said about that. I started before Bloodborne came out and, I was playing Ori. I missed Dragon Age Inquisition.
Right.
And honestly, that game has a lot of fluff. There's a bunch of crap you can do in that game that you don't need to do So you don't even progress. Like, I think I'm almost 60 hours in that game, and I've barely progressed like the main story.
Right. So, I mean, so for me, the order, everybody really hated on it. And I was reading these reviews, like 5s and 6s, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. But there was something about it that, I mean, obviously, we sort of got hands-on at PAX and stuff like that. So I'd sort of already had a little bit of, experience with the game. And, I don't know, I had some money from Christmas or whatever that my folks had given me in a gift card. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna buy the order, off PSN when it comes out. And you know what? I bought it. I played through it. I'll probably play through it again. Maybe not. Hard to say. But you know what? When it was over, I enjoyed the crap out of that game. It was, in my opinion, for me, like personally, worth every penny I paid. But again, I'm the exception and clearly not the rule compared to what everybody else thought about that game.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely play it. But if Bloodborne wasn't out this week, like if it was just 2 weeks earlier, when I was playing, I was playing stuff, but I definitely would have made time for it.
No, that's fair. I mean, like I said, it's. I think that my opinion of that game is going to be polarizing. Because clearly a lot of people did not think the same way that I did.
I think a lot of people had issue with that length. Length is such a touchy subject.
Yeah, but to me, if they would have just made it longer, like even 2 or 3 hours longer, it would have I don't know. I mean, I guess they could have added on to the game itself.
Yeah, I don't think it needed to be longer either. I obviously haven't played it, but like I'm hoping, I guess if you get sucked into the story, then it's worth it. But if you don't get sucked in, then that's where it becomes an issue, right? If it's not super engaging, like.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, for me, I loved it. I got hooked on the story, and I thought it was great. And when it finished, the way that it ends, I mean, it does end on a strange sort of. It's one of those endings that's. It could totally, lead into a sequel, but at the same time, if they don't sell enough and they don't get a sequel, then it's a bit of a bitch ending. But at the same time, it's kind of like, well, it ended.
Yeah. Well, I hope they do a sequel.
Yeah, I walked away from it going, holy shit, I hope I see a sequel because I enjoyed the crap out of that.
It's like Assassin's Creed 1, right? Like, I really liked it, but it was super repetitive and it was just missing a lot of polish and, stuff to do in that world. Like, you did a lot of eavesdropping and you did a lot of tailing missions, and there wasn't a lot of that varied mission design like in the later games. But, and those developed pretty good. Like, the whole Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood were pretty awesome. Obviously, that series has its own issues now, but like the first one was like, here's concept. We didn't have 5 years to work on this. We had to get this out. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna get a second chance.
I think with Assassin's Creed, kind of that's funny. Like the first time I played it, the first like 4 or 5 hours of the original Assassin's Creed blew my mind. I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is like the coolest thing I've ever done. This is the best game. And then I realized that was all it was.
Yeah. The concepts in it were amazing, and it was just had such a badass attitude. There's going to be a sequel to The Order. There would have been.
I hope so.
It's regardless of reviews, it must have done well financially because there's been no layoffs from Ready at Dawn. And
that's true. At least not yet. I mean, we're still a little bit early. But
I don't know. It's been isn't it been a couple months now? Or
over
it's
been
a month.
About a month or so. Yeah, you're right.
Usually that stuff drops pretty quick when the game doesn't do very well. So
yeah, but I mean, we also don't know what they're working on right now either, right? I mean, they might have, obviously the order ended and they might be working on something else. I don't know if it's obviously what they're working on, but it might be something totally different, or it might be another, it might be the sequel to The Order. I can cross my fingers in hopes, but I don't know.
We're going to have to do a predictions podcast maybe in the next couple of weeks for E3 because that's probably obviously something they're working on.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I'll be very curious to find out.
And I've been playing lots of Heroes. I got Got a couple keys that I gave to some of the other guys in the crew that didn't get to play that. So we were playing some 4 or 5 player matches, only against bots. I think maybe in another week or so we might be brave enough to play against real people.
Oh, fair enough.
And that's been fun. I love that game.
Sweet. I actually, after we talked about it, I actually got mine all up to date there on the weekend, and I played a few hours of it on Saturday morning.
It's just painless. It's so quick and easy to jump in.
Yeah, no, it really is. I was amazed at how quick and easy that was. They've polished it up a lot since the last time I played it, which was good. The one thing that I'm finding with that game, and also it's funny, Marvel Heroes as well. I mean, we'll get to that. I've been playing a snot load of that, but what is the deal with the hero prices in these games? Did they honestly expect me to pay like $10 for a single character?
Yeah, they're pretty expensive.
Like, that's insane. Like, I could see like $2 or, $3 even.
They're pretty expensive in League though too. I think they're $5 or $10.
Are they?
I think they're between $5 and $10 for the newest champions.
Okay, I guess I kind of got real lucky with Smite there, where they do their whole. I think it was $29, and you get every hero that is in the game and every hero that will be in the game.
That's pretty amazing. Obviously, Blizzard had no fear of this going on, so they didn't offer anything like that. They did have a big bundle where you got like 8 characters for $40.
Yeah, I mean, they still have sort of a big bundle going on, but I couldn't. I don't know. I was like looking into it, and I was like, man, I could really get into this.
It does seem
maybe
expensive.
I'll pick up a few characters or something. I was like, holy shit. This is crazy. Like, did they honestly expect me to pay $10 for, Ghost? Like,
that being said, you do get you can earn gold at a pretty decent clip. So, okay. I've gotten over 15,000 gold in like a week, which is, the most expensive character now, or some of the older characters. Like, a lot of characters are 2,000 gold. Like, I can go out and buy like 5 characters now if I wanted them.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's not too bad. I think the prices are pretty high because they're like, you know what, you can essentially unlock everything for free.
Yeah, I guess if you just play enough, then you can unlock everything for free.
My buddy Ty was like talking about, he's played League and he's played Hearthstone.
Right.
I don't know if he's played any other free to plays, and he's never dropped a dime. And
really?
I think he has dozens of characters in League he's unlocked, and he's got a buttload of cards in Hearthstone, probably more than any of us. And yeah, he just plays for free. He doesn't give him a dime. He's like, I don't have to pay. And I'm like, I like the game, so I feel like I'd spend $60 on something that I'd throw away. And I'm like, I'm going to buy the intro pack or the pack bundle. And, like in Hearthstone, I did it once because I'm like, this game's awesome. I'm going to support them by doing this.
Yeah. That's how I feel. I mean, even when games are free, I tend to feel, I don't know, like, hey, if I'm going to play this game and I'm going to get a bunch of time and hours and enjoyment out of it, I might as well support the guys that made it. I did that with Smite. Like, I kind of got sucked in. They did a whole run up to the World Series that they did where they were releasing like new items and various things. And the cool thing that they did with that was all of that money would kind of go into a big pool. So a large portion of whatever you were buying went into the prize pool. So, I mean, you were, spending money and you were getting items and stuff in the game, but you were also helping create a massive prize pool.
That's pretty awesome.
I think the prize pool ended up like almost $3 million for, the World Championships, which is awesome.
$3 million that I have no hope in hell winning. I'm too old. Yeah. I'm over the hill. Once you're over 20, low 20s, they say your reaction time in professional gaming is too low to be competitive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's insane. I don't know where they came up with that, but I was reading an article somewhere they were saying, I can't remember. It was between, I want to say between 23 and 25, somewhere in there. They say your reaction is just that is so much
we're just
worse.
Old fogies.
Yeah, we can never be pro gamers.
Damn it. Well, there goes those dreams.
Pro spectators.
Dashed. Yeah.
And you've been playing still, obviously, lots of Marvel. Anything new?
You know what? I'm getting close to beating the story.
Oh, there's an actual story in it?
Oh, yeah, man. There's did you play Marvel Ultimate Alliance?
No, but I hear lots of people liked it.
Oh, they were great games.
This is essentially, people say this is what should have been the sequel, essentially.
This is like a giant open kind of MMO style Marvel Ultimate Alliance. It's phenomenal. The more I play of it, the more I get sucked in. I mean, I
think I'm gonna have to download it.
I mean, I think I dropped 10 hours into it, over the last couple of days here. I mean, and then they also they do this whole dirty, sneaky thing where if you log in every day, you get items.
Oh,
so
nice.
There's login bonuses. So, and of course they get better and better the more days consecutively that you log in. And of course you only have to log in order to get the login bonus. But of course, who's just going to log in and not play for, some time, right?
Yeah, it's a super hook.
Oh, totally, man. So I'm up to like day 17 or something like that now, and it's every day I'm like, oh man, I got to make sure to like log into Marvel Heroes today. I'm getting some good stuff here. So.
Does the bonus compound like the more consecutive days you log in?
Well, I mean, the bonuses get better, right? So it's not the same thing each day; it's different. But of course, the more days that you're logging in, the better the bonuses become.
Nice.
So I mean, if you log in enough, if you log in, so many days, I don't remember what exactly it is consecutively, you actually start getting free characters. And very similar to freaking Heroes, the characters in Marvel Heroes to buy are not cheap. I was amazed. They range anywhere from, I think, $6 up to about $10 for a single character. So they're not cheap characters either. But that being said, there is also a few different ways that you can get characters. They do drop in-game from time to time.
You were saying that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and as well as there's a second in-game currency that you pick up from time to time as well. And you can use that currency to pick up characters. So, I mean, there's like 3 different ways you can just spend the real money and do it that way, or you can actually, sort of like your buddy there and just hunker down and just play a whole bunch.
Yeah, I'm gonna download it. I'm pretty sure I got a super long weekend this weekend, so I'm pretty positive I'll beat Bloodborne this weekend. And for next week, I'm gonna make my darndest effort to try and play the Fast and Furious expansion that came out for Forza Horizon on Xbox One.
Right. Yeah,
because that was like a free expansion, which I've been hearing pretty decent things. Apparently, it has like story mode and characters and stuff for a free expansion.
Interesting.
So I'll have to check that out. Speaking of Fast and Furious, I'm gonna go see the new movie on Friday. Since I got the day off, so I'll be able to talk about the movie and that expansion next week. So I figured I'd bundle those together. And then I'm also going to pick up that Axiom Verge, however you want to pronounce it.
Axiom Verge.
Yeah,
that's supposed to be awesome.
We played that at PAX, or I think.
Yeah, man, that game was a lot of fun.
Did you know that game is made by one guy?
Yeah, man. He was like, yeah. I didn't know initially, but I heard other people talking about it, and I was like, are you serious? There's one guy making that game.
Yeah, everything. The music, the art, the programming, the whole shebang.
That's crazy, and apparently it turned out awesome.
It's a good game.
I've only heard people
gotten good ratings, so
raving about it.
I'm going to pick it up. I just haven't played it because I'm playing Bloodborne.
Yeah, I may or may not pick that up this weekend.
I think it's like $17.99 or something like that. If you get a discount of your PlayStation Plus, okay. I know it's an awesome game. I haven't even played it, and I know just from looking at it, it's awesome.
Yeah,
I just love those Metroid style games.
Yeah, I agree that from what I'm hearing, it's worth a buy, and I'll probably suck it up and buy it myself as well.
Okay. Well, I think that's pretty good for what you've been playing. So we're going to bunch. I was thinking the news was kind of dead this week, but it's a lot of stuff kind of piled up today. So we'll move into the news section. I got to get some bumpers here, man.
News.
And stuff.
Stuff.
So I guess the biggest news, obviously Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct today. We'll talk about that. And I think we'll talk about that last.
Okay, that's fair.
That's from today. That's the newest news. But I think the biggest news in the last week was Nintendo talking about delaying the Legend of Zelda on Wii U. That it's no longer a priority to get it out in 2015.
the team's hunkering down, and they're gonna hopefully bring it out 2016.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about this. On one hand, I think it's awesome, and I want them to make the best game that they can. And then there's this whole other part of me that's like, God damn it, now what the fuck am I going to play on my Wii towards the end of the year?
It definitely doesn't help the Wii U in any shape or form, but, from watching the video, he was saying how they just came across some new gameplay things that they wanted to do. So I'm really wondering if they just had a light bulb moment and figured out some new mechanic for an open world game or something they'd never done in Zelda before that is just going to be like, oh, wow, that is awesome.
We have this big control pad thing with a screen on it. How can we utilize this?
Well, I don't even know if it's going to have anything to do with that. Just maybe some new gameplay mechanic. Like, so many of the conventions in 3D games have come from Zelda. From the targeting, even in Bloodborne, you're click targeting on your enemies. That's a Zelda Ocarina of Time thing.
Oh, totally.
They're the guys who did that. They're the ones who made the 3D action conventions that everyone borrowed and copied, right?
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I really hope that I really want this Zelda to be great. For me, it's been a few Zeldas. I think Wind Waker was the last Zelda that I thought was awesome.
Yeah, Wind Waker was awesome.
Yeah, the two after that, in all honesty, I played several hours of both of them and then kind of dropped them. I don't know. Twilight Princess, the whole turning into a wolf, and I could not get behind that.
I didn't mind it. I didn't love it. I got to the last dungeon, but I never finished it either.
Yeah. Skyward Sword for me, I got so sick and tired of playing the freaking tutorial for 2.5 hours.
No, it's something like 6 hours.
That's my point. I never got past about 3 hours, and I was like, this is bullshit.
That game
I'm so done with this.
That game had the longest hand-holding section ever.
And I mean, it's unfortunate because I heard that it actually got quite a bit better later on, but I just couldn't do it. I hit a point. I was like, you know what? I've played this too many times in too many Zelda games, and if you're not going to get to it at this point, I don't have time.
My problem with Skyward Sword and most Wii games was, this looks like crap. It's not in high def. I don't want to play this.
And I don't want to waggle.
No, I don't mind. The waggling's awesome. I don't mind that. I like that interaction.
I hated the waggle.
In Metroid Prime and stuff. I thought the stuff was well done.
I hated the waggle so much.
It's the games just didn't look good, Everyone else is HD, and here you are playing this, 480, 480p, 480i, ugh.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
That being said, I may or may not have installed Dolphin on my PC and started Skyward Sword in high def. And it looks pretty awesome.
Well, let me know how it goes after this stupid 6-hour freaking tutorial at the beginning.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe in a couple months. Maybe after Witcher 3. Oh, wait.
Oh.
I won't have any time to play anything after Witcher 3 comes out.
Oh, man. That kind of goes into one of our news stories this week. The Witcher 3's, they're saying, is going to be over or close to 200 hours to do everything. And that's not including the expansions and things like that they're already planning. So it's looking like a monster game.
All that CD Projekt Red is committed to, they don't charge for anything. It's going to be free whatever they release, right?
Yep, it's all going to be included in when you buy The Witcher 3.
And that's pretty awesome.
They're going old school
200 hours? Well, I see here, hopefully it's not that example of just filler, though, and garbage.
I mean, I don't know. I played, some of The Witcher 1 and The Witcher 2, and there was just a ton of stuff to do in those games. And it was kind of up to you. Do you want to pursue the main story, or do you want to get lost in other things?
Yeah,
right?
I guess if you like that. Yeah. Well, it's like Skyrim, right? You can just go off in a direction and la 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 la.
Yep.
And
that's actually what gets what kind of screws me with open world games is like I have a little bit of an OCD streak where I want to see and I want to do everything.
You see those little blips show up on the map, and you're like, I got to go clear that. I got to go clear that. I got to go. And it's like you just keep, oh, wait, I've been around the whole map, and oh, I still have the big story icons left.
Yeah, exactly. And then by then I've either forgotten what I'm supposed to do or I've gotten bored with the game because I haven't been doing it, right?
That's pretty exciting. I wish it was coming out sooner, though. I kind of feel like, well, I guess May. Well, this month we got like what? Mortal Kombat X.
That's on the way.
That's not really going to take a lot of time. So Witcher 3, May, Batman, June. I think nothing really has been announced for July or August.
Yeah.
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
No, me neither.
That's cool. That's always good news. A long, hardcore action RPG. You know, that's got to make a lot of people happy.
I think Assassin's Creed Chronicles actually comes out sooner than we're thinking.
What is that? I saw Ubisoft tweet about it, and it was like, huh?
It's really interesting. They're making a side-scrolling, like sort of 2.5D, if you will, Assassin's Creed game. And they're making it kind of in 3 parts. You're going to play as a Chinese assassin, a Indian assassin, and a Russian assassin across 3 different times periods. And it's actually looking really interesting.
And what's that supposed to be coming out on?
It's coming out actually on PC, PS4, Xbox One. So, yeah.
I'm going to have a look at that.
Yeah, it's definitely take a look at the trailer. It looks really interesting. I mean, it's a very new sort of take on Assassin's Creed. It's like I said, it's did you play the Batman 2D game for Vita? Blackgate or Dawngate or whatever it was called there?
I've only played Arkham City and Asylum.
Okay. This kind of reminded me a little bit of the Batman game for Vita, and which was great. So if you're looking for stuff to play on your Vita, I highly recommend it. It was great. So, but yeah, so they announced that this week. So it's coming out, I believe, fairly soon. Actually, it might even be April or May. It's only going to be, a smaller game. It's not going to be a full $60 monstrosity, right? It's kind of, I don't think they've announced prices yet, but from what I gather, it's probably going to be less or around $20. So,
I had some other things I want to talk about related to that Zelda delay, but I think I want to do like a special section. Maybe we'll save it for another podcast.
Okay.
But I got some ideas about, like, not really a predictions podcast, just a what I think blank should do. Like, for example, what I think Nintendo should do to help them turn around, what I think Nintendo or what Sony needs to do, or what Xbox has to do. Just like a kind of little what if discussion. Because I have a lot of ideas of what Nintendo could be doing, and they just seem to be doing everything opposite of that.
Yeah, I think that would make for a fairly interesting podcast.
Yeah, we can save it for a special section, because obviously we don't want to go for 3 hours. But so Zelda delayed, Uncharted delayed. I don't think there's any other big guys that could be really pushed out of this year. Halo 5 was the only one that potentially may have been pushed, but they actually came out on Sunday during the Walking Dead season finale, announced their release date.
Yeah, October 27.
Yeah.
Yay! Woo! I don't own an Xbox One.
I do. Okay, I'm gonna
have something to play on it.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate right now. I don't give a shit about Halo.
Oh, yeah. Well, I skipped Halo 4, so what can I say?
There's a couple reasons. I loved Halo 1 and Halo 2 multiplayer campaign. Those were fun experiences. I remember playing with my cousin, start to end, pulling all-nighters.
Right.
That's amazing. But guess what? Co-op in every game is fun. Doesn't matter. It's just who you're playing with. Playing a game with someone else is fun. I don't think any of them did anything amazing. I wasn't really into the multiplayer because when Halo came out, I had a high-end PC. I was playing PC first-person shooters, and I'm like, what the fuck's the big deal about this?
Yeah, it's exactly how I thought about Halo at the beginning.
Halo is kind of, you've always been a heavy PC gamer.
Yeah.
Like console gaming for you is like going backwards because you've always been a PC gamer from, for the entire time I've known you. You were like hardcore Counter-Strike guy, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, if you're going to play a first-person shooter, you got to have a mouse and a keyboard. So to me, to play a first-person shooter on a console with a controller just seems backwards.
I can play. I can play them fine, and I like them with the controller. But at my peak, mouse and keyboard. For the Twitch shooters, I always do much better. Like Call of Duty, I'm
PC.
I'm usually top 3 on any team on PC on Call of Duty. On console, man, I'm just dead like right away.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, for me, PC, Titanfall, PC, if I could play some of these console-specific, games on a PC with a mouse and keyboard, oh, dear Lord, I would.
Like, don't get me wrong, Halo 5, I'm sure will be great for people who are huge fans of Halo 5. We've got no fanboys here. I own every system.
Yeah.
So I'm not like rah Halo 5 because I only have an Xbox, which I see a lot of people who are that, in love with the series don't realize there is a lot of better stuff out there. Like, I honestly think the last one was pretty mediocre, not memorable at all. The story in Halo has not been very compelling, like it was interesting and then it just took a left turn. It's like, I don't care.
Halo, I remember playing the first one, and initially I thought, wow, this is a pretty good game. And then the Flood showed up, and I felt that the game just took a huge dive as soon as they added the Flood. And unfortunately for me, I think every Halo game I've played is sort of similar to that. As soon as they add the Flood, the game takes a dive. It's like, I don't know what it is. They can't seem to create enough content without sort of doing the Flood. And maybe it's just the way that the Flood is done in those games. It's just, there's so many of them. You're running, you're just shooting. There's no strategy. There's no real AI with them.
Yeah.
It's just sheer numbers. Whereas the rest of the guys that you play and you fight against in those games, they're interesting. The AI is pretty good. It's decent. But every game that I've ever played of Halo, as soon as they add the Flood, it just kind of crashes.
Yeah, I've played every one. Like, I've beat every Halo, and I'm sure I'll beat Halo 5.
Oh, I'm sure.
But I'm just not, I'm not super excited. It's not like, oh my God, Halo 5, like, Xbox has this amazing, they're huge, but I think they've gone steadily down since number 3. I think number 2 is the peak, and I think that's well over 10 years ago, and they've gone down. They're still moneymakers, but they're not at their heyday anymore. I just think other shooters have done more and done better.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see. I mean, it to me spells something good when they're willing to sort of change their tried and true formula.
That's what I'm interested in, because it seems like, because the last one was disappointing. There was a lot of backlash from the multiplayer, like a lot of, hardcore Halo fans like, oh, this is terrible. Like, it just didn't get widely adopted. They weren't happy at all. So
no, maybe
they'll make some changes to bring it back. I played the multiplayer beta, the Guardians beta over Christmas, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's Halo. Seems kind of neat. They've changed a couple things, but it's just like, I don't know. I'd rather play Titanfall, or I'd rather play Call of Duty.
Right. Or at the time, play Destiny.
Or and play Destiny. Like, Destiny is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Especially with people. Like friends,
So, we'll see. It's coming out. That's good news. It didn't get delayed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, at least it's something to look forward to. And I'll, like we said, I'll be very curious to find out. I mean, I'm sure it'll be great.
I hope they can turn it around, because if it's disappointing, or if it releases broken like the Master Chief Collection, then I think they've done away with all their
goodwill.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And I guess what else is new? Oh yeah, this actually kind of pissed me off. Sony announced a limited edition metallic gray, I think they want to call it. I can't remember what they call it. Batman limited edition PS4 with like some exclusive content in the game, and it looks awesome.
It looks so good.
Like,
oh, it looks so good.
it's not better than my 20th anniversary edition, but why couldn't they have done a different color? It's not the same color. It's not that PS1 color, so it is different, but I'm just like, what the hell? Really?
Yeah.
But it looks dope. Like, if I didn't know it...
I was a little bit cheesed that, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think the original PlayStation 4 looks great, but man, I saw the White Destiny one, and I wanted that so bad. I was like, man, I want to take my PS4 back now and get a white one.
The
like,
white one does
so
look cool.
And then now I'm seeing, like, this new Batman one that they announced, and it looks so good.
Yeah, the Batman one looks awesome.
You know, it's, yeah.
If I didn't have a PlayStation, I was to get one today. I'd pick up that bundle.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be today. It'd be a little bit down the road, but yeah, I'd be holding out for that because it looks so sweet.
So, I noticed you put a note on here about the Gears of War.
Yeah, they announced that Gears of War is going to be Xbox One only.
That's good.
There was sort of a big up in the air thing a while ago where they were saying, where they announced it. They didn't announce any actual platforms for it. All they said was like, hey, new Gears of War is coming. It's on the way. And then this week on Twitter, somebody tweeted the lead developer, and he said, hey, are I going to see, a new Gears for the Xbox 360? And he said, unfortunately, no. You're only going to see it on Xbox One.
That's good news. I don't like when they have the 1 foot in, 1 foot out between generations. That really limits the current version of the game.
No, I totally agree. So for me, it was a huge win. I mean, I don't know, again, I don't even own an Xbox One, but it is in my to-buy list. So I tried to sort of pick one up at Christmas, but it just didn't quite work out as I'd hoped. But I mean, a new Gears of War on Xbox One only, that just bodes well.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're going to develop for a more powerful system, you don't have to worry about supporting the less powerful systems. That's sort of everybody, at least that owns the more powerful system, is going to win.
Yeah. I really like Gears. That's pretty cool. That was a good franchise. And they got progressively better. The story,
yeah,
it was not bad. It wrapped up pretty good in the end. I actually was connected to the characters. There was actually a really touching moment in the third one. But each game progressively got better in every way, like from the gameplay to the sequences, the action sequences to, even the story, right? Like that was a good trilogy. And it was like when that game came out, you're like, holy crap.
Awesome games to play with a friend.
And it looked amazing.
Yeah.
You were like, wow.
Yeah. And like I said, awesome co-op games. If you're looking for a game to hang out with a buddy and play a bunch of video games for 6 or 10 hours, Gears of War is awesome for that.
That makes me really excited to see what Cliffy B's new studio is going to do.
Yeah, it's interesting. Have you seen much of his new stuff? I mean, it's an online sort of old school shooter.
I saw the clip that they showed at GDC, and I'm like, it looked really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be very curious. I mean, it's interesting. We got some of these older kind of games harkening back to those old school sort of just run and gun Twitch shooters. I mean, we got a new, Unreal Tournament happening this year, and it sounds like, from what I understand, sort of in the grapevine at least, that sort of Cliffy B's new game is kind of almost in that vein. So, yeah, it'll be interesting.
So there's a couple things. Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct today.
Right. I didn't actually get a chance to watch that yet.
Man, it was awesome and it was not awesome.
Okay.
They announced so many things.
Okay, so give me the bad news.
Well, obviously the bad news is there was nothing new on Zelda, and it's still not coming out till next year. But
they also said that they weren't going to be even showing it at E3 this year.
Yeah, so they obviously, that was missing. So I guess they set that up by releasing the news about the delay so people wouldn't be expecting that.
Right.
There was a lot of cool stuff. Just quickly, though, before I even get to that, Nintendo announced the final Club Nintendo rewards. So if you've been collecting those Nintendo points on Club Nintendo, they released a big list. It's on the website of all the platinum titles or gold titles you can choose.
Yeah, I saw you put that story up on the website earlier today. Hadn't had a chance to sort of look through there, but I saw that was up there.
Cool thing. Lots of really good games.
Awesome.
Bad thing, no physical rewards.
Oh, okay. So they got rid of all the.
A lot of people were
No
expecting.
t-shirts.
A lot of people were expecting. There was that leak a couple months ago with the gold and silver Mario amiibos. The gold one turned out to be a Walmart exclusive, but there's still a silver Mario amiibo floating out there that no one knows where that's going. And everyone was like thinking, "Oh, is that the Platinum Club reward?" Well, it turns out it wasn't. So.
Well, that's too bad.
So that
would have been pretty sweet.
The good news is I didn't get platinum this year, and I was about to go run out and buy a few games to top that up because I was so close.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I hit platinum this year or not. I know I did last year.
I think this year's the first year that I didn't, and I don't know if that was just a lack of titles.
Yeah.
Because usually I hit it, getting all their tentpole titles, I usually hit it pretty easily.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I mean, I hit it last year because I picked up Wii U and 3DS.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing.
So that pretty much pushed me over the edge right off. Not to mention all the games I picked up.
The new 3DS XL didn't come with Club Nintendo points, which would have easily put me over.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I know. It came out in February, but they had already announced they were killing the program, and there was no points with it.
Oh, dude, that sucks. That's a huge bummer.
But it's not really a bummer because, again, it's just they didn't. If there was a physical thing like the statue that I got a couple years ago, which is really cool, or some of the other ones, I would have been disappointed. But since it was just digital titles, I own, honestly, most of them. So I'm just like, I wasn't too sad about that. So that was good news because otherwise I would have been so mad that I didn't get it.
Fair.
So speaking of the new 3DS XL, I got one.
I hate you.
And I didn't talk about it, and I've been meaning to talk about it. And I actually have a damn unboxing video that I've been meaning to put up, but I just haven't had the time to edit it. So I got the Majora's Mask one because I was lucky.
Right.
And it's a nice system. The 3D is awesome. Holy cow. I know you tweeted out there when you tried it in the store.
I did.
I never used the 3D on the old 3DS.
See, and I love the 3D. I do. I mean, I have one of the, you and I both had the red 3DS XL, and I love the 3D. It's frustrating though because, as soon as you get it kind of out of the sweet spot, the 3D sucks.
Yeah,
but now
like
that they've added the eye tracking on the new one, 3D's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I have it on all the time now, where I never used it before.
Oh, and I hate how much I want to pick up a new 3DS XL now, even though I own one already, and
you can give it to your wife.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, I meant to talk about it. The analog stick's nice, like in Majora's Mask, like controlling the camera and stuff. Like it's a funny little nub. Like it doesn't feel like you're moving it at all, but it's pretty responsive and it works as you would expect, like another analog stick. So it does the job. But yeah, that 3D is awesome. I have it on all the time now, and it really, like, you can move a lot. You can take a shake. Like you were saying before, you had to hold it super still, and the second you move, it would drop or break, and then your eyes would be like, ah.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I like the 3D, so I mean, I keep, I deal with that. But now that I've played with the new one, I'm just like, holy crap, this changes everything. Suddenly 3D is awesome and usable every time I pick up my 3DS. Like that is just,
and it's nice because it's faster. So like swapping games, going back to the menu screen and going from the different apps is just quicker. Loading games is quicker. So overall there's a boost because of the new CPU and stuff. So yeah, if you don't have a 3DS yet, and we're thinking of one, definitely. Well, I don't think you can even get the one that's not the new 3DS anymore.
Yeah, I mean, the only bummer, of course, being like if you're somebody that wanted not an XL, unfortunately, they're not releasing the new 3DS in a non-XL over in North America, at least yet, which is a bummer. But
they might. And a lot of people have been clamoring for it.
Yeah, we'll see.
With the success of Amiibo, I wouldn't be surprised that they release the new one. They talk about it at E3 and bring all the faceplates over because people would be crazy for that stuff, right?
Yeah, that's true. I'm still so confused about the amiibo thing. I like the figures; they're cool looking.
Oh, they're so awesome.
I don't really get the purpose because, like, my wife, she totally got into Skylanders. She is a Skylanders addict. She's got every game. We have over, I think at last count, we had around 60 Skylanders in our household now.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
that's like over $600.
I don't want to talk about it.
And here I thought I was bad with my 30 plus amiibo, which is actually that's a lot of money too.
Yeah, it is. But at least with those, I see the purpose. Like every time, she gets a new game, she's got all these characters she can play. Whenever she dies, she can just put another one on the portal and she can keep playing. So I kind of get it.
I think with the amiibo, the cart came before the horse.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm waiting for them to release like this big Nintendo game that's like kind of set up like a Skylanders thing where you're actually going to be able to use all the amiibos.
And they're adding lots of integration to a bunch of games. But yeah, like an amiibo specific game where it unlocks the characters, like in Codename Steam. That was like the first real like Skylander like implementation. Like you scan the Fire Emblem guys and you get the character in the game, just like a Skylander.
Yeah, but it was only 2 characters.
No,
right?
it's 4.
Okay.
There's only 2 of them are available now. The other 2 release, and that's something that was in the Nintendo Direct. They talked about amiibos, but talking about that and kind of makes me bring up the idea. Yeah, it would be nice if they had a killer app for those things where. I could imagine like a Super Mario 3D World style game where you pop in your amiibo and you're playing as Link, or you're awesome. Playing as Dr. Mario, or you're playing as Mewtwo, or whatever the amiibos you scan in. Like, oh my god, that would be a killer app.
Think about this.
Would it sell Wii U's? I don't know.
Here's $1 million idea.
Well, don't say it.
Oh, okay. I won't say it then.
Okay. Okay, I guess you can say it.
Oh, okay, fine. I'll say it. Have a essentially like a giant Mario RPG, but characters that you can pull into the game are your amiibos.
Like the Paper Mario style ones?
I was almost thinking kind of hearkening back to a little old school
Super Mario
action, but you got the
get Square involved even.
Yeah, man. Do a Super Mario RPG 2
with amiibo.
With amiibos.
That'd be
I'm telling you, man.
See, I don't know if Nintendo has the amount of the workforce to make these titles, or like maybe this is going to be one of the things, like one of the bombs they drop at E3. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, they need some sort of hook, just besides like unlocking a bit of stuff here and there. I mean, and the amiibos right now are an interesting thing because they've specifically said like some of these aren't going to be easy to get, some of them are.
Oh no, they're impossible. Right? I'm clicking and refreshing websites on a daily basis. I have news alerts set up on my phone. I have a problem. It's called Amiibola.
Amiibola. Yeah, it sounds like it.
It's awesome that they do stuff, and honestly, it would, even if they did nothing, I would collect them because they're just such, to me, I look at them like, oh man, this reminds me of like childhood. I remember playing all these games. I love all these characters. Like, honestly, no one has the wheelhouse of characters like Nintendo. Like, no one can come close.
Yeah, this is true. This is very true.
Nintendo is like the Disney of video game manufacturers. Like, they make characters and people fall in love with them. Like, no one else can do it.
They
like,
have.
Sony can't do it. Xbox can't do it. All their characters are freaking space marines and idiots in suits. Like, people love them, but not the same. Kids don't love them. Adults don't love them alike. Their little niche audiences love, Master Chief, but it's not the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's kind of interesting though, because I mean, when we were younger and stuff growing up, I mean, you had Mario on Nintendo, you had Crash Bandicoot on Sony, like those were, and of course Sonic on the Sega systems. And I mean, those were things that were happening that everybody loved and was into, and that's kind of what happened. But the thing is that out of all of the platforms currently available, they don't make a Crash Bandicoot game anymore. They don't.
Nope.
I mean, when was the last time anybody even made like a sort of a lovable character adventure platforming game?
The closest thing would be a Skylanders.
Yeah, and that's completely, totally not though. Really,
No, I don't know.
Like, Skylanders is almost more of a. It's actually almost more of a action RPG, to be honest.
And Skylanders is neat, but no, you couldn't pull someone off the side of the street and go, "Hey, who is this character?"
No, not at all.
No one will know them. You pull someone off the street. Oh, that's the Wario. It's Mario, Luigi. You know, even the less known characters people will know, right?
Toad,
the
Yoshi.
Zelda guy. You know. I know the Pokemans. That's the Pikachu. You know, people.
Pikachu.
These amazing characters. Anyway, I got them all. I'm super addicted. So Nintendo had their Nintendo Direct today. And the best news is they finally announced some dates for the next wave, the Wave 4.
Okay.
May 29th.
So your addiction, so your crack is coming out on May 29th?
Yeah. So they haven't announced pre-orders. I've been lucky. I've been smart from the get-go. Actually, no, I haven't been smart from the get-go because I'm going to rewind a little bit. Back in November when they first came out, I remember being at Target. Rest in peace. When I was at Target and they had them all there. I'm like, oh, those look cool. Oh, man. I think there was like 12 of them. I'm like, $15 a pop. I don't really have that money to spend right now. So I'm like, whatever. We'll see. I'll get them later. Big mistake.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you waited.
The one,
you
actually,
snoozed, you lose.
Actually, the one thing I did do is I picked up Marth.
Oh, smart.
So I magically happened to pick up one of the rarest ones. Because
lucky duck.
Less than a week, you couldn't get those guys anymore. You could get all the common guys, but the Holy Trinity, Marth, Villager, and Wii Fit Trainer were essentially impossible to get. You had to go to eBay. You had to go overseas. You had to import it, and they were like super expensive.
I have a local video game store here that's sort of, they actually still do rentals, believe it or not. But they do, sort of used and other form. They do new video games as well, but they also do sort of use their, they're kind of like the local. There's not many left like that anymore, but they actually had the Trinity in there, but they were selling them at eBay prices, so they were all like over $100.
Oh, I could imagine.
Yep. And I mean, and I was looking at them and I'm going like, really, guys? Really? And they're like, well, people want to pay and, this is what they're going for on the market. So that's what we're going to charge.
So I got them all and I didn't pay over retail for any of them. But that was like, I fluked out. I happened to walk into Toys R Us and they had a Wii Fit Trainer. And same thing with a Villager. But man, I had so much stress in December trying to collect these guys. Obviously, it's gotten a lot easier because when the Wave 3 came out, I just pre-ordered them all at multiple websites just because I'm like, in case one fails out or cancels for whatever reason, because that's something that's been happening. These things have been so popular. They can't make enough, and people's pre-orders have been getting canceled, so they're getting choked. And you know what? This is not something new. Nintendo does not know how to, I don't know. I guess they make their product and then like, oh God, the demand's crazy. And then they make more, I guess, which is a smart manufacturing practice. So you're not stuck with a bunch of crap that you have to liquidate later on, right?
Oh, yes.
But it's such a headache for the fans,
It's so hard. You're either it sells really, really well and you don't have enough product out, or like you said, nobody buys it and you're stuck with tons of product.
And Nintendo's not exactly
tons of cash.
Yeah, Nintendo's not in the shape to just make, a billion of these and not have them sell.
Nope.
So that being said, they're super popular. People are crazy for these things. And they announced the next wave, and they actually announced a couple new characters, which they didn't show. Like, everyone knows who's coming. They're all the Smash Brothers characters, so there's no real secret there.
Okay.
So a bunch of those characters were announced in the next waves, like they're planned for release for July and September. I'm not going to go over all the names because there's too many of them, but that's good news for amiibo collectors out there. Hopefully, I imagine the pre-orders are going to go live any day now. They showed a game. that uses your amiibo that unlock Nintendo's greatest hits demos when you scan your amiibo.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's not the games, which would be, I don't know, at this point it might be like such a huge like gesture, but I guess that'd probably be pretty pricey to do. But so you scan your Link and you get Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
On your Wii U.
Yeah, that would be probably, I mean, on one hand it'd be awesome for the fans, but I don't know how smart that would be.
They can maybe release it. Oh man, no, I just said it. They might release a new line of amiibo that costs a couple bucks more and you get the eShop game. That might be an idea.
Oh, that's a cool idea. Especially if they were, of course they would probably be some sort of limited edition ones or something. The amiibos, I mean.
And so they announced Yarn Yoshi amiibos, which are actually not plastic figures. They're little yarn figures.
Really?
Yeah, and they don't have a base. They're like little toys, and they'll scan like the other amiibos, and that's for the Yoshi's Woolly World game, which is pretty cool.
Very cool.
So you get little assist Yoshis that appear in the game. They announced the Splatoon amiibo, the girl and the guy, the Inkling girl and Inkling boy, and the squid figure. And there's actually like a 3-pack where you can get all 3. And you receive special missions and gear and weapons with those. So that's getting a little better with the unlocks on that regard.
Is that, if I'm not mistaken, is that the first 3-pack that they're offering with the amiibos?
Because I guess that's all there is for Splatoon is the boy and the girl, because those are really the only characters in the squid. And they announced the release date for Splatoon, which is May 29th. That game looks kind of neat.
Oh, yeah. I was looking at some videos for that. It's kind of a kiddie down shooter, but it looks like it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of people who played it really like it. They had a bunch of people at Nintendo a week or two ago. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go, but
interesting.
It looks cool.
You know what? I'm going to have to see if I can make a phone call or two and see if I can't maybe hit up Nintendo Local and see if they have it around.
Yeah, it was in the
Love
States,
to get some time with
that. Also for me, for Mario Kart 8, they announced a whole bunch of more unlockable suits. That's one thing in Mario Kart 8. You can scan your amiibo and you get like a suit for your Miis when you're playing a Mii character in the game, which is kind of neat.
Oh, okay.
So they added a bunch of racing suits. They showed off the amiibo cards that everyone was freaking out about.
Right.
So there was a Nintendo Direct, I guess, in January where they're like, oh, because of the demand, blah, 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 we're going to release amiibo cards. And then everyone's like, oh, crap. That means I'm never going to get my figure. They're going to make little dinky cards. The cards they announced are for a new Animal Crossing game, Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer game.
Oh, interesting.
And these cards have the NFC built into them, and you scan them like an amiibo, and it unlocks like Animal Crossing characters in this new game, which is all about designing your homes. So it's coming out, I think, later in the fall. So it's a new Animal Crossing game, but it's like a standalone, like I don't know, dollhouse kind of thing. It looked kind of neat. Like I don't know if it's really something for me. It doesn't really look exactly in the same vein as the other Animal Crossing games, but the cards were neat. Now, Nintendo wants to like blow up and make $1 billion with these things. Obviously, the obvious thing is Pokemon cards.
Right.
You make a Pokemon game with the Pokemon cards, and because they're not going to make, besides the Smash Brothers amiibo, they might maybe one day make a set of Pokemon amiibo, but like.
That would be amazing.
Like,
see, that's another $1 billion idea right there.
You know how many Pokemon? How many Pokemon there are now?
I don't even want to know. But even if they released, 50 of them or something like that, that you could only use in the game.
700 Pokemon now.
Well, see, and that's what I'm saying. Don't do all of them, but say release 25 or something amiibo that you can, that are special that you can't get in the game. Yeah. You can only get. And I mean, that would be amazing.
But a card game would be perfect. Pack of cards. You can essentially get all of them. I don't know what kind of game it would be, but that'd be pretty killer. So that was a bunch of the amiibo stuff. Huh? They delayed Mario Maker. Well, actually, they didn't delay it. They never really had a release date, but everyone was expecting it to come out soon. It's also going to be coming out in the fall.
Okay.
They gave a release date for Splatoon. Oh, Mario Kart 8 has a new DLC that's coming out on April 23rd, the DLC Pack 2,
Right.
So that's got new characters, new courses, new tracks, and for free, they're actually adding a 200cc mode, which is kind of cool.
Interesting.
So if you didn't think 150cc was fast enough, they're beefing it up and doing a 200cc class, and that's free. That's April 23rd, and that's when the DLC pack comes out too.
Okay. Well, that's for Mario Kart fans out there. That's awesome.
Did you get the first one?
I've been bad. I haven't actually picked up Mario Kart yet for my Wii U.
The first DLC pack is pretty awesome. Like racing around as Link, the Legend of Zelda course is awesome. Like the courses they made were wicked. Like it was awesome DLC.
That makes me happy.
It was like $7.
How was
$7
this
or
new?
$8?
How was this new? Mario Kart.
Mario Kart 8 was awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's probably one of the best Mario Karts besides Mario Kart 64. Block for it, man.
Of course.
That's the one. To be honest, that's the one thing Mario Kart has been lacking the last little while. They just don't seem to know how to make a good battle mode. Like that was classic. We used to play that for hours.
Battle mode is amazing.
The battle mode
is so much fun.
Mario Kart 8's battle mode is garbage. Like you may as well just
that's too
throw
bad.
it in the garbage. It's just racing around the track.
Oh,
they open up the whole track and you can go in any direction. It's just stupid.
Oh, that sort of misses the whole point.
Yeah. Oh well, that's what people were hoping they'd fix that with DLC, but obviously they have no interest in fixing that.
Yeah,
I wonder.
That's too bad.
Maybe they know how many people are actually. Well, if you don't make a good battle mode, no one's going to play it, so they can't base it off of stats of people playing. So,
yeah.
Nintendo 64 and DS games are coming to Virtual Console.
About time.
A few of them were announced and released today.
Oh wow, that was quick.
Yeah, like Super Mario 64, Yoshi's Island DS, a couple other ones. Donkey Kong 64.
That's to keep an eye on.
Coming out later.
I mean, I know some of those 64 games don't hold up all that well at this point. Unfortunately, but
I have no desire for that. But whatever.
Yeah,
they're just cashing in where they can. The problem I have with Virtual Console is that you have to buy it on each platform.
Yeah, I really, if there is one thing that Nintendo needs to sort out, it's their platform situation.
Like, I don't have an iPhone anymore, but Sony does it, and I'm pretty sure they copied it from Apple, because honestly, Apple was the first one to do this, where you had an integrated system where you had two different devices, but the app worked on both. I could play the game on my iPad, I could play it on my phone. Now,
Wait, you mean Steam? What?
But that's all just PC.
That's my point. And my point is that they've been doing it for years on the PC.
Yeah,
though.
well, yeah, that's PC to PC to PC. But I mean, when you have your 3DS can play Super Mario Brothers, but I got to buy Super Mario Brothers on my DS. I got to buy Super Mario Brothers on my Wii. I got to buy Super Mario Brothers on my Wii U. It should be on all three. Like PlayStation's got it.
You should buy it buy it once and have it cross-play.
Sony has it the best with the Vita and the PS4. That is the best thing. You buy it on PS4, you get it on, if there's a Vita game port, you get it on both. That's amazing.
Yeah. That's just smart, though.
You can take it on the go and you can play it on the big console in your home. That is the best.
And you do cloud saves.
And you buy it once, and like saves are synced.
Still playing the same game.
The saves are synced. It's amazing. I don't know. Hopefully Nintendo will get their act together. Maybe that's what the NX is going to do. It's going to fix all this.
Yeah, right.
We'll see.
One thing that Nintendo needs to stop doing is tying their their digital stuff to a console.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
They need to put that stuff in the cloud, because, man, there's nothing more frustrating than, switching 3DSs or switching, consoles, because everything's tied to that console.
I think
not tied to your account.
I think the DNA stuff is going to help them with that. I think that's just something they don't have the knowledge to do.
I really hope so, because that is one of the most frustrating aspects of Nintendo.
Nintendo knows how to make these amazing games, like with such high polish. I don't think they can be bothered with all that other stuff. All that other stuff that has nothing to do with gameplay.
Yeah, I think you're right, because they've been struggling with online. They've been struggling with digital content. Like
they have online, but their online is like, hey, you can play against other people. You can't talk
and then
to them.
to try and
Their
get your friends, it's like,
their friends
here's
lists
a
are
terrible
impossible.
friend code.
Yeah, their friends lists are impossible. The integration's like,
Yeah.
Oh, well, hopefully that's something they'll fix.
Yeah.
And then they showed some more Yoshi's Woolly World. They showed a trailer for that Shin Megami Tensei and Fire Emblem crossover project from a couple of years ago. They just showed another trailer, so nothing else.
Oh, okay. Oh, Shin Megami. I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
New Fatal Frame coming to the US. People have been clamoring about. I guess it was out in Japan.
Yeah, it's been out in Japan for a while now.
I never played any of them, so
Yeah, apparently this one is pretty neat because you use the, of course, the handheld thing to sort of stick it, and you can kind of, wave it around the room and stuff. And apparently, essentially it kind of makes it look like there's ghosts in your house, which is pretty cool. Kind of makes the whole,
so we talked about that. That was the Wii U stuff. 3DS, the Animal Crossing we talked about. And they have a couple indie games coming out. One launching tomorrow called Box Boy from the creators of Kirby, which is like a black and white platformer.
Right.
Looks kind of neat. Your little box that can manipulate your shape to get through the stages, which are kind of like puzzles.
Right. Yeah, I remember seeing some stuff about this. It looks intriguing. It might be worth a check out.
They showed some more stuff for the new Fire Emblem game, which looks amazing.
Yeah, new Fire Emblem. I'm so excited. I love it. And the last Fire Emblem on the 3DS was
so good.
So good.
So good. So they said that's not coming out till 2016.
Oh.
I know, that's a bummer.
Well,
they showed more.
As long as it's good. As long as it's good.
They showed more Puzzle and Dragons, the Mario Brothers edition. Which is interesting.
Yeah.
I'm almost tempted to download Puzzle and Dragons now just to see, but it's just a match. Isn't it a match 3 game? Have you played any of those Puzzle and Dragons games?
I have. Puzzle and Dragons is a very interesting game. It's very complicated, and yet it's very simple. I mean, it's a match 3 game, but it's
got like a bunch of RPG elements and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
I don't play many games on my phone, but I do play. One of the ones I do play is actually the Marvel Puzzle Quest, which it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a match 3, but it's made by the guys that obviously made Puzzle Quest.
Yeah,
so
Puzzle Quest is awesome.
You use Marvel characters sort of as your attackers and this and that. Puzzle and Dragons was kind of like that, but then they added all of this. I mean, you at the end of the battles, you get these characters, and then you have to like morph those characters, and you combine characters to create stronger characters. And there was almost like a whole Digimon sort of aspect of the game.
Yeah,
it made it very complicated. I mean, I played it a while,
it's
but
huge in Japan. Like,
wow.
I think it's like the biggest game in Japan.
Yeah,
and I think it's huge even on the app stores here. Not necessarily number 1, but I think it's still pretty big.
Yeah, it's a big game, no matter how you slice it, I think, on mobile. I don't know. I kind of hit a bit of a wall with it where I just kind of, I don't know. There was just something about it that didn't really jive with me.
Well, a lot of those games are hoping to get you hooked with the grind, right? So then that you're going to spend money on them. That's the whole point. That's the problem I have with mobile games. Is like they make a cool game and then they make some BS mechanic to just get money out of you.
Yeah. See, I mean, like I play the Marvel Puzzle Quest one, and it's easy enough that I can play it whenever I want. I don't have to pay money. There's no, if I want to play a whole bunch, that's fine. But at the end of the day, if I don't, then I can play a few matches every day, kind of when I have time. And it's the perfect game to just sort of, I have 10 minutes and I'm waiting for something, so I'm going to, play something. So, and it's a match 3, so it's easy,
Yeah, so I think that's a smart move on Nintendo's part to bundle up Mario with that. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
They're going to do another free-to-play game. Pokemon Rumble World, which look kind of neat. Comes out April 8th, so next week.
Right.
Features, I think, all the Pokemon. And it looks like a little, it's like a 3D, like, Rumble action game. I don't even know how to describe it. I'm sure there must be a trailer on Nintendo's YouTube or something. But hey, free to play, I'll try it. We'll know more next week.
Yeah, exactly.
Codename Steam is coming up with an update to fast forward the enemies' turns, which was like one of the biggest complaints of the game, because you could sit there for like 2 minutes
waiting for the enemy to do their turn.
Yeah, and it's just lame.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's excellent.
I want to know how a gameplay design like that's honestly terrible. How does that make it through to the end? Like how is the tester not like, this is a really bad like gameplay aspect. We need to change this.
Well, yeah, especially like I'm playing that game and it's taking a long time and these enemies are moving in the background, but you can't see them.
Right.
So, like in XCOM, you can see the enemies, well, at least when they're not in like the fog of war. But there's enemies moving on portions of the map you couldn't possibly see. So you're sitting there for like 2 minutes. And it's just like, what the hell? Like, okay.
Yeah.
It just makes you want to quit the game. It was like, it was bad.
Yeah. I mean, that's again, bad design.
That's good.
Just bad design.
Only problem is
that's
that impacted everyone's reviews already. So at least they listen, but oh well. They're announcing new Street Pass games. So they're adding 2 new Street Pass Me Plaza games. So we can waste more time while sitting in lineups at PAX.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
A fishing game and like a game where you go beat up zombies. Ultimate Angler. Visit Street Pass Islands to catch more than 150 types of fish and legendary monsters.
Huh.
Battleground
like
Z.
you said, while you're sitting in line at PAX or another trade show of some sort, it's worth a good time count.
Oh yeah, I'm addicted to collecting puzzle pieces. Battleground Z is like a little zombie fighting game. You're running around, beating up zombies, picking up items, creating items. It looked kind of neat. So those are out April 16th.
Okay.
$6.29 each or $9.99 if purchased together. And then the weird one was they were adding a VIP Street Pass Me Plaza Premium, which is like a VIP room where you can save like 100 me characters. I don't know what other stuff that encompass because it doesn't really say anything. And that's like the price of one of those games. That looked weird. I don't even know if that's even useful.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds very Nintendo.
Yeah, it was
come
weird.
Up with these weird ideas sometimes, and you're just kind of like, really?
Attack on Titan, they showed a trailer of. Looks like a kind of wannabe Monster Hunter. Attack on Titan's amazing.
Yes, the anime was freaking awesome. I have friends that aren't even into anime that watched Attack on Titan and went, wow, that was great.
Remember when we went... You've been to the last 2 PAXs with me, right?
Yep, you and I.
So the one before was when I started my new job. And I remember I was in the hotel room and I'm like, man, see all these... I'm going through cosplay photos I took and I'm like, all these people are dressed up like these characters from this game. I'm like, what is this? Or what from this show? What show is this? And then I'm like, oh, it's Attack on Titan. Oh, yeah, cool. Crunchyroll, free month, whatever. Okay. I watched the whole season in like two days.
Oh, absolutely.
Like 20-something episodes. I'm like, holy crap.
Yep. 24 episodes. Show's awesome.
Yeah. Like, some people have complaints. There were some low points or draggy points. But man, I don't know what it is about that show, but like, for some reason,
it hooks you, man. It's awesome.
People die in shows all the time. But for whatever reason, whenever people died in that show, I was always like, super upset or angry
and sort of surprised,
and it was just like, and it was kind of horrific too.
Oh, yeah.
They weren't like, and they weren't.
That show was horrific,
but most of the deaths didn't really show a lot of gore. Maybe,
yeah, that's
like
true.
there was some blood splatter and stuff, but I wouldn't say they were like. It wasn't like, torture, freaking porn movie.
Yeah,
gross. No, like true. It was just like, okay, that guy got squashed. He's a red spot now. And but the thing is like, you knew a lot of these characters, you felt for them in this. You felt so hopeless in that universe. I'm like, Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
That show is awesome. If you have not seen Attack on Titan, I don't know, you might not like it, but I fell in love with it. I binge watched the whole thing. So they have a game coming out and it looks like it's kind of like a Monster Hunter thing, like 4 players. You take down the Titans, this giant weirdo humanoid creatures.
Yeah, I mean, I think, isn't that the same one that's out in Japan already, right? The Attack on Titan game?
I don't know.
Is that the one on the 3DS?
Yeah, it's 3DS. This is all 3DS.
Yeah, that's the one that's out in Japan already. So it you can actually look on YouTube and stuff, and there's some gameplay videos of it out there. It looks, I mean, it's weird because it doesn't look all that pretty from a aesthetic and from a sort of graphical perspective, but the actual gameplay itself looks a lot of fun. So I'll be very curious to sort of get my hands on that when it finally gets released over here, because I've been sort of following that, and I always just assumed that it was probably going to be one of those games that never made it to North America for, it's just being the type of game it is. So I'll be very curious to see sort of what it actually turns out like when it comes out over here.
Yeah, I don't have high hopes for it. I probably won't even play it, but that's coming out. They showed a trailer. Yeah. The one thing I am excited about, though, is Xenoblade Chronicles 3D is coming out April 10th. I missed that on Wii, so I'm actually excited to play that on 3DS. And that is a game that will only work on the new 3DS. You need the new system for that.
Dang it.
So
another reason why I'm going to have to buy a new 3DS. So
that's coming out next week, so I'm pretty excited to try that.
Yeah,
my buddy played it on Wii, and he loved it.
Yeah, it's hard to find on Wii now too.
So we're almost getting to the end here. There's a bunch of indies that are already out on other systems. I guess the biggest news is for Smash Brothers. They announced a couple new characters. Mewtwo, which we already knew about.
Yeah.
He's coming out at the end of the month, April 28th.
One of my favorite characters.
And they also announced, in addition, they're adding Lucas from Mother 3.
Interesting.
Earthbound.
Huh.
So Lucas and Ness, another character from Earthbound. So he's coming in June, which is pretty cool. And then they have more costumes coming for Mii fighters. Like you can dress your Mii fighter up as Mega Man X and Proto Man.
Right.
And they're actually taking, they're having a survey on their site on the smashbros.com. You can actually, they want to hear who people want to be in Smash Brothers.
Interesting.
So I guess people, maybe they're going to potentially make a character that's never been in Smash Brothers before.
Well, that would be pretty cool.
So, and they're also making amiibo for those two characters as well, which is pretty cool.
Sweet.
I'm pretty sure they're making amiibo. I think I saw that somewhere. And that's about it. So that was a ton of stuff. I was just disappointed that, well, I guess this is all known quantities. They got to save their, if they have any. Like, there's no real bombs here. Like, that's the disappointing thing. Like, it was overall awesome, Nintendo Direct, but there's no bombs here. But E3 is 2 months away. Obviously, if they have any bombs. The thing is, if they show anything even if they show anything at E3, I don't think it's going to come out this fall. Nintendo's, like, everything they showed at E3 last year, I don't think any of it's out. With the exception of Mario Kart 8.
Nintendo's doing that really weird sort of E3 thing where they're not really going to E3.
No, well, they go to E3. And they have a booth. They just don't have a proper press conference.
They've stopped doing the big press conferences,
which is,
stuff,
by all means, there's nothing wrong with that. Nintendo's the first one to realize that stuff is a waste of time.
Hey, I like the big press conferences.
You've never gone to the big press conferences.
No, but I sit at home and I watch live and I enjoy every second of it. That's the thing,
though. Nintendo's doing these directs, which give you the same amount of money, and they get the information straight to the fans, which is brilliant.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Here's our message. Here's our stuff. There's no interpretation. Obviously, everyone can go and discuss it after the fact, but I think it's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is what bombs? Zelda's not coming. They already released Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, a new Mario Maker is in the fall. Like, what could do they have a new Mario game? Maybe Mario Galaxy?
I kind of hope we don't see another Mario Galaxy. I really want to see them make a new 3D Mario platformer that's not Galaxy.
It'll be interesting.
One could argue that we've gotten a Super Mario 3D World and stuff like that, and those are great games. Don't get me wrong, but another game in the Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, Mario Galaxy type game, that's what I want to see. I want to see another game kind of in those veins.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
It'll be interesting to see what they do at E3. Obviously, there's a lot of room here. Like, looking at this direct, like there's no I don't see their tentpole holiday title here. There's like nothing, which is that makes me kind of scared, but who knows? They might have something up their sleeve for E3 for this fall.
I really hope so. I really do.
You know what? They're not going anywhere if they don't.
No, of course not. It's mainly just for me because, I mean, my Wii U doesn't get enough love. It's funny, and I say it all the time. It's like, I love my Wii U. I do. It's weird because I don't play it all that often.
It's an awesome system.
But, yeah, so it's like I kind of want stuff to play on it.
But at the same time, you turn on your Wii U, I don't see what my buddies are doing.
No.
I don't go,
see what anybody's doing.
There's Dane. I can just jump in that game with him because everyone's playing that game on that system. No, nobody's playing anything there except for the Nintendo titles.
Exactly.
And most of them don't even have multiplayer. So, It's a dope console for the Nintendo stuff. I wonder. It's going to be interesting. I don't think they're going to announce their new system next year. They said they're not going to do something the same. So they're probably going to do some new gimmicky thing again. Who knows?
My guess is the earliest we're going to see anything about the NX is probably going to be 2017.
I'd say 2017 would be a release at the latest.
You think so?
Yeah. Nintendo, I don't think they've even cracked 10 million yet, and they've been out a few years now.
Yeah. I don't know that. I haven't.
Xbox One,
attention.
I heard, is between 12 and 14. And PS4 is over 20.
Yeah, I remember that. Sony was quite
PS4 is killing it
vocal
worldwide
about being over like 22 million already.
Xbox is the American system. It's obviously pretty close neck and neck in the US, but I think PS4 has got every other territory locked down.
Yeah, they're doing very well in everywhere else.
Well, and they're doing well in the US as well. That's the only but that's the only place where Xbox is really killing it.
Yeah, that's true. And I still, like I said before, I totally plan on picking up an Xbox One for those exclusives. There has been a few exclusives that I do want to play, and I will. It's just a matter
unless your buddies have an
hasn't happened yet.
Unless your buddies have one, and most of mine don't. The only the people on my friends list on my Xbox One, they're all American media.
That's funny.
All
my friends this generation went out and bought PS4s.
Well, that's it. All my friends have PS4s too.
Yeah.
And
I'm one of the few people that out of my friends that tends to buy all the consoles. Most of my friends, they buy one.
Yeah.
Yeah. They bought a PS3 last generation, or they bought an Xbox 360 last generation. I'm one of the few people that I know, besides, you obviously, that tends to buy all of them so that I can play everything when I want on what console I want.
Yeah. That'll be interesting.
So,
Nintendo ain't going anywhere. That'll be cool. Hopefully they have some cool bombs. That'd be pretty neat. I don't know. They do some fun stuff sometimes. As my first, I'll always have a Nintendo love.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
So that's about all the news. Well, I think most of it. I think I might have cut some of it. No, I didn't cut any of it. That was pretty much it.
I think we covered it pretty much all.
And then
this week.
Tomorrow there's going to be like a million bombs.
Oh, I'm sure. Isn't that always the way it goes?
Oh well, something to talk about next week.
Exactly.
So
should we do some questions?
Did you want to talk in our random section here? Did you want to talk about Chappie at all?
Yeah, I can talk about Chappie. We went and saw it last night, actually.
I was thinking about watching it. My sister-in-law saw it. She really liked it.
It's very interesting. I went with several people. Several of the people in our group hated it. Were
they uptight people, or?
I think the problem is with Chappie is that from the trailers, it seems like a big sort of shoot 'em up, bang bang action movie with robots and this and that. And don't get me wrong, there are those moments in the film, but overall I don't actually know if I would almost call it an action movie.
That's not the main point.
No, not at all. It's very much the other thing too that I think was interesting was that, they used a South African sort of rock band, if you will.
Die Antwoord.
As the main characters. And it sort of turns a little bit into the Die Antwoord show. At some point, you're sort of like, they're on screen, their music's on screen.
They're a very eccentric duo.
Yes. And like, it works, but at the same time, it kind of doesn't. So, and I won't lie, it was kind of sad seeing Hugh Jackman in that movie. I don't know, he felt stunted or something. He just felt off in that film. So it was interesting. I enjoyed it. I didn't, I walked away from it being entertained. I had a good time. But other people in my group were definitely very disappointed and were not fans. So,
did they keep it to themselves or just like, they were talking trash during the movie?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that sucks. I hate that.
Yeah. They were very much like, this is terrible. I can't believe we had to come watch this.
The movie,
is this over
and
yet?
if you don't like it, walk out. But don't, I hate it when people start, squirming and talking. And it's like, they're not enjoying it. And then they bring down your enjoyment because you could be trying to enjoy it,
Yeah. It has a very interesting end that I honestly did not see coming. Which, I'm not going to, no spoilers here, but I really didn't. I did not see the way that movie was going to end. So, I don't know. Like I said, I enjoyed it, and your mileage may vary. I guess depending on your movie tastes, you might really enjoy it or you might not. So, I think there was a bit more humanity in the film.
Yeah, it sounded neat. Like my sister-in-law was talking about, the whole movie was about that the robot has an AI and is almost like a child and doesn't understand anything and is being brought up by these South African gangsters. That sounds like a neat kind of story.
Yeah.
It's not an action movie. It's about this thing becoming self-aware, but it's, it's got the intelligence of a child.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of, growing up with Short Circuit, sort of that whole, robots learning.
This is like
and
a
it's
war
got a
machine,
personality.
Really, it has no clue. It's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a little bit like that. And again, I really liked it.
I like his visuals, like Neil Blomkamp. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Neil Blomkamp, yeah.
Yeah, he makes some pretty amazing movies.
He's a cool guy.
I like this. Was it District 9 and Elysium?
Oh, yeah.
I like both those movies, so I'm pretty sure I'll probably like Chappie.
There's a toy store here in Langley that he's actually the owner of the toy store is friends with that director, Neil Blomkamp.
Which toy store?
And oh man, he owns GameStars. Why I'm drawing a blank right now. Of course, I'll think about it in about 2 seconds after the podcast is over.
It's all good.
Yeah.
I don't.
But he's actually got props in
the store
from
the movie,
from Elysium, from District 9, and from Chappie. So
nice,
very very cool.
Next week we'll talk about Fast 7. Well, at least I will.
Yeah.
I don't think I talked about 3DS.
I'll probably see it over the weekend.
I'll save some other. I don't know if I got any other. I got other gadgets, but I'll probably save that.
Okay.
I guess enough. So we got a couple of questions.
Okay.
One that I missed last week because, I got it as a text.
Okay.
Had to do with the new PS4 update and the remote play. So they added the 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
When you're locally. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Have you had a chance to use it yet?
It's a huge difference. Before it felt like you were streaming the game. Right. Now it just feels like the game is natively playing on your Vita. So I was playing Bloodborne with my Vita, which I probably wouldn't have dreamt of doing before.
Okay.
Because that game
is all about timing.
Yeah, it's all about timing. So you're off a frame or half a second and you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I was playing it on the couch, while the wife was watching TV, and it was like, holy crap, this is amazing. So that was pretty cool. That was from Nelson. So, and he also gave me hell about saying he carries his Vita and 3DS with him as well. So I'm not the only one. He also takes his.
Fair
So
enough.
he carries his around
Alright.
with him.
Okay, fair enough. That's cool. Yeah, like I said, I haven't had a chance yet to check out the PS4 remote play stuff that they've done.
And the
so.
suspend is pretty cool. Just takes no time. Well, it takes time to get in the game, but it's not a couple minutes. Like when you wake up from suspend to get in the game, it's pretty quick. So that's nice. That was a nice
that is
update.
Such a nice feature. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
What else we got here?
We got another question from Robees. Until he tells me how to pronounce his name, it's going to be Robees. I don't have an answer for this one. He asks, what is your most anticipated game that people might not have heard about or seen?
Oh man, that's like upcoming. That's hard.
Closer to PAX, I might have had some indie game on the back of my... I would have said Axiom Verge because no one was talking about it that time. But really,
but
like,
now
there's been...
this week, everybody's talking about it.
Well, it's out now. So we don't really...
Yeah.
I don't know. There hasn't been any conventions lately or anything I've been invited to lately to check out something that no one else knows about.
Yeah, I sort of saw this question and I'm really trying to rack my brain, trying to think of, obviously there's those gems from like, kind of years back, if you will. But as far as like what's upcoming that, might be good or might not be good, I don't know. I mean, it's, I know there are a few things sort of in the pipeline, but as far as like, things that people might not have known or is kind of not well known yet, yeah, I'm drawing a blank in all honesty.
There's The Adventures of Pip. That's coming out. That's like a side-scrolling platformer. You remember that from PAX where you evolve from you're a simple pixel, and then you go from single pixel to 8-bit character to a 16-bit character, and I think he even evolves beyond that, and you get different skills when you kill your enemies and you absorb their pixels.
Yes.
So then you basically turn into a new game era, so you get mechanics similar to those eras of games, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, that game was a lot of fun. I played through that demo. That was a blast.
They just emailed a new build out recently, actually. Yeah, have seen it on my computer. I haven't played it yet. But that looked kind of neat. It's indie.
Yeah.
I think that's...
It was neat, too, because you had to actually... There were certain types of the games where you actually had to devolve yourself back down in order to
get through some of the puzzles,
stuff. So it's like you're constantly sort of, you're 16-bit, then you're 8-bit, then, sometimes you have to be back to 16-bit, but sometimes you have to go back to like...
the single pixel?
Yeah, exactly, to get through some stuff. So it's a neat idea. It's a very cool game.
I can't really think of anything else. I think we know about everything right now. And it's all a lot of big stuff.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff is sort of...
A lot of known quantities, right?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Like I wouldn't say anything that's like a surprise, like, surprise!
If there's something that comes to mind over the next little while, I'll write it down and I'll throw it in next week's podcast.
Yeah. In this day and age, everyone's trying so hard to get their word out there. Besides some of the weird stuff that's on like Greenlight, on Steam Greenlight, or some of the indie stuff like...
What, Goat Simulator?
Well, everyone knows about that. I never played that, but it definitely made for some hilarious streaming, I take it.
Yeah, I haven't played it either, but it just... the ridiculousness of it.
Yeah, we'll have to... Yeah. Well, that is almost like an ongoing question.
Yeah. It's a good question, though.
What game people haven't heard about and should know about. Make an effort.
Yeah.
With that, I don't think we have any other questions. My bro wrote in a silly question. How can dads find time to game? I don't know.
Oh man,
don't have kids.
I don't have kids either.
I don't know. That scares me.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm in a position where I'm not planning on having any kids, and my wife is not interested in having children either. So,
right now,
no, we've pretty much come to the realization we're just not interested in having kids at all. So, So it's not really a problem I'm probably going to run into.
Yeah, I want them, but it scares me. Like right now, I don't have as much time as I would like, but I can imagine having less time. Like I already get anxiety about not having time to do the things I want to do. I couldn't imagine. I guess I'll be like staying up till late hours at night after everyone goes to sleep to play vids.
Or waking up like early in the morning on the weekends and stuff to play.
I can't do that. The kids are up. Apparently kids are up early jumping on your heads.
Yeah, that's very true. That does happen. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like you said, we don't have kids, so we're maybe not the ones to ask.
Yeah. Well, he's got 3, so that's got to be tough. I feel for you.
Yeah.
With that being said, I think we're done.
Yeah, I think that pretty much ends this week's episode.
That's another one in the can. So any suggestions anyone has out there, obviously you can hit us up on our Facebook page, our website, our Twitter. So at Geekoholics is the website, Twitter. Not as obviously monitored as our personal one. So if you want to get a hold of me, it's at Rick F without a K.
And I'm at Dane Cody. And that's DAYNECODY.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like our Facebook page.
And like and subscribe to our podcast streams.
Yeah, so I posted how to get the website. Obviously, you can add it with your RSS feed to most apps. We should be up on Stitcher now. We got a SoundCloud. iTunes just approved us today. So we should be showing up in iTunes soon. So if anyone out there has iTunes and can find us on there, it would be huge if you added a 5-star review and said how amazing we were. Because obviously that helps with people discovering the podcast and helping us grow.
Yep.
Eventually the plan is to probably do this live at the same time as we record it on Twitch. But this is all stuff we're going to have to work on.
In the future.
In the future. And I am uploading it on YouTube, which is not necessarily... You think it would be easy to put an MP3 on YouTube? It's not easy.
No.
It's really dumb.
Not easy.
It's really dumb. But I did get it up
the whole process is stupid.
I did get it up on YouTube for anyone who wants to listen to it there, maybe while they're doing something in the background. It makes it pretty easy. But yeah, so yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Until next week, we are out.
Out.